Hello everyone, my name is Aaron and I'm going to walk you through Python Lambda functions. You may have seen the word Lambda before and wondered what it means. I'll break it down and simply show how it compares with regular Python functions. Before we jump into the technical stuff, let's quickly look at what we'll be covering in this presentation. What is a function? What is Python Lambda? Difference between def and lambda functions, code examples of def and lambda, when not to use lambda, and a final recap and takeaway. This will help you not only understand lambda functions, but also know when and how to use them in real-world scenarios. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a function in Python? Block of reusable code performing a certain task. That means once you write it, you can use it as many times as you want without repeating the same logic. Parameters are values you pass into customize what the function does. Can access inputs and return a result. Most functions process something and give you an output using the return keyword. Define using the def keyword. The def keyword is how you tell Python you are creating a function. In this code example, we use def square brackets num to define a function named square. That takes a number and returns its square by multiplying it with itself. We then prompt the user to input a number using input. Convert it to an integer with int, call the function with that input, and finally print the squared result. Now that we know how a regular function works, let's explore Python Lambda functions. Lambda is a way to create anonymous functions. Lambda is used quickly to create small anonymous functions without defining them formally. The functions have no name. These functions don't need a name unless we assign them to a variable. Lambda will return the result automatically. Lambda automatically returns the result of its single expression. Best used for short one-line, one-time functions. It's best used for operations or one-time use cases. In the code example, we define square, which is equal to lambda x multiplied by x. This creates a lambda function that takes one argument x and returns x multiplied by x. We take user input using input, convert it to an integer and pass it into the lambda function. We then print the result. Now that we have seen both types of functions, let's compare them side by side. Functions created with def have a name, while lambda functions don't unless assigned to a variable. Def functions can span multiple lines and include conditions and loops. Lambda functions are restricted to a single expression. Readability. Def functions are easy to understand and maintain, especially when your logic is long. Lambdas can get messy if overused. Use def when you want reusable or a complex function. Use lambda for short one-time operations. The takeaway here is, lambdas are useful for short tasks, but if clarity or complexity is involved, stick with def. Let's reinforce this comparison by comparing both versions in code. We are solving the same problem, squaring a number using def function and a lambda function. We use def square underscore def x to define a standard function. Then we take user input, convert it to an integer, pass it into our function, and print the result. It's simple and clear. In the lambda version, we define square underscore lambda is equal to lambda x multiplied by x. The rest of the flow is exactly the same. Input, conversion, function call, and output. The lambda is shorter but does the exact same job. Both approaches return the same result. It's all about which one suits your case better. Now let's talk about when to not use lambda. Lambda should not be used for complex functions. If you need to use loops or multiple conditions, lambdas are not the right tool. Avoid using if-else with lambda. Though technically possible, it quickly becomes hard to read. Use def for anything that needs explanation or clarity. If your function logic is more than one step, always prefer def. In the bad lambda example, we try to square a number if it's positive and return its negative if not, all within one line. It technically works, but it's very difficult to read. So, always ask yourself, Is this logic simple enough for Lambda? If not, go with def. Let's wrap things up with a quick recap. Lambda functions are anonymous and short. They're great for one-liners. They are best when used for simple expressions like squaring a number or filtering data. Commonly used with built-in functions, you'll see them in map, filter, sorted, and more. Avoid using them for logic-heavy operations. They aren't made up for multiple-step processes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you understand Lambda functions better.